When should you use an LLC or a corporation? Well, in this video, we're going to walk through the differences between the two and when it's best to use each. So stick around till the end. And this is an important topic because at the end of the day, you must make sure that you're choosing the right business structure before you get started. Now, to help you understand when to use an LLC versus a corporation, I'm going to walk you through the differences between the two. The first difference is how each is formed. Both LLCs and corporations are formed by filing a document with the Secretary of State. However, with the LLC, you file what we call the Articles of Organization. And with the corporation, you file what we call the Articles of Incorporation. And another difference is that the cost of setting up an LLC versus a corporation may vary by state. LLC formation can range anywhere between $35 all the way up to $500, depending on the state where you form it. And the LLC's annual filing fees can be anywhere between $0 and $800. As for corporations, those fees can mirror those of LLCs. But in some states, forming a corporation may be more expensive than forming an LLC. The second difference between the two relates to the tax flexibility. From a tax standpoint, LLCs offer 4 different types of taxation. They can be taxed as C Corps, S Corps, partnerships, and disregarded entities. The C Corps are the entities that face the double taxation. The S Corp faces one level of taxation, but it's good to minimize self-employment and payroll taxes. As for partnerships, these are for LLCs that have 2 or more LLC members, and all the profits from the partnership flow through onto the LLC member's personal tax return. And this is what we call pass-through taxation. LLCs can also be taxed as disregarded entities. And this is where you have a single member LLC with only one owner. And all the profits from that business flow on to that one LLC member's individual tax return. And this is also another example of pass-through taxation. So to be taxed as a corporation, a partnership, or a disregarded entity, you can fill out Form 8832 with the IRS. But if you want to be taxed as an S Corp, you can fill out Form 8832 as well as Form 2553. Corporations, on the other hand, only allow for 2 forms of taxation, the C Corp and the S Corp. So at the end of the day, LLCs offer far more tax flexibility than corporations do. The third is that there are operational differences between the two. With a corporation, you have both the board of directors and the officers of that corporation. The board of directors is there to provide oversight for the direction of the corporation, whereas the officers, on the other hand, are the ones who are responsible for carrying out the day-to-day operations of that corporation. And here, the state requirements may vary. Some states require a minimum of 3 board of directors serving on that corporation's board. And if you have a California corporation, you're gonna need to meet this requirement. As well, there's some states that require 3 officers as well: the president, the secretary, and the treasurer. However, I should mention that those 3 positions may be held by the same person. LLCs, on the other hand, only have managers. And with LLC managers, that's like having both the board of directors and the officers of the corporation combined into one position. This is where the LLC managers provide both the oversight for the LLC as well as carrying out the day-to-day operations of the LLC. And there are 2 forms of management with an LLC. The first is member managed, which is where only the members of that LLC can be its managers. The second, on the other hand, is manager managed. And this is where you can bring in an outside manager or somebody who doesn't own an interest in the LLC to manage the LLC for you. With corporations, they require two governing bodies, and in turn, there may need to be more individuals involved with the corporation. On the other hand, the LLC management is different. This is because there's only one governing body and you only need to have one manager. There are also ownership differences between LLCs and corporations. And this is because LLCs offer membership interests to its members, whereas corporations offer stock to its shareholders. If that corporation is taxed as an S-corp, it can only issue one class of stock to its shareholders. But if it's taxed as a C-corp, it can offer many different classes of stock. And there are two common types of stock that corporations use. There's common stock and preferred stock. In most cases, common stock gives its stockholders the right to vote, but they don't have the right to receive priority dividends from the corporation. But preferred stock is different. While preferred stock does not give its shareholders voting rights, it gives their shareholders the right to receive dividends from the corporation before the common stockholders do. There are also differences with the transfer of ownership. With a corporation, it's much easier to transfer stock to other shareholders. But with an LLC, it's much more difficult to transfer membership interest to another person. And this is because LLCs have the pick your partner rule. This is where the other members have the right to pick and choose who they want to work with. So if somebody wants to sell their LLC membership to another person, the other members of that LLC must approve of the sale before that other person becomes a full member of the LLC. And the other LLC members have some power here, because if they don't want to work with that other person, they don't have to. The next difference relates to going public. The LLC cannot go public, and this is because they issue membership interests instead of stock. However, corporations can go public, and this is because they can issue many different classes of stock to different shareholders. And this is great for raising capital from investors. However, the corporation must be taxed as a C-corp before they can make any public disclosure. The next difference relates to record keeping. And this is because corporations have more reporting and record keeping requirements than LLCs do. Corporations require annual meetings, annual minutes, and they may be required to submit an annual report to the Secretary of State. LLCs, on the other hand, have fewer record-keeping requirements. Annual meetings and annual minutes are not required for LLCs. However, it's certainly best practice for LLC owners to have annual meetings and have minutes of those meetings. And the last difference between LLCs and corporations is the liability protection that they offer. To give you some context here, there are two types of attacks that LLCs and corporations may face. The first is the inside attack, and the second is the outside attack. The inside attack is a claim against the business. So this is a claim against the LLC and the corporation itself. So when someone sues the business in the inside attack, generally they're only limited to collecting from the assets held inside that business. They may try to pierce the corporate veil to hold the business owners individually liable. But if they can't, then they're only limited to collecting from the business assets if they win the lawsuit. And in this regard, LLCs and corporations are the same because they do provide business owners protection from the inside attack. However, their liability protection is different in the outside attack. And to give you some context of what the outside attack is, the outside attack is a claim against the business owner in their individual capacity. LLCs in some states offer much better liability protection in the outside attack. And this is because there's some states that offer the charging order protection for LLCs. A charging order is a lien on the distributions from that LLC if any distributions are made. So as an example, let's say that you own an LLC in a charging order state. Let's also say that you get into a car wreck and the car wreck victim sues you. They take you to court and they end up winning that lawsuit. So if you have an LLC in one of those charging order states, the victim could get a charging order on your LLC to satisfy their judgment. And what this is that that car wreck victim gets a lien on the distributions from the LLC if any distributions are made. And if any distributions are made out of that LLC, they go to the car wreck victim instead of you. But the benefit here is that you still own the LLC and you have the power to control whether or not distributions are made out of it. And if you don't make any distributions, that car wreck victim doesn't collect anything. However, corporations don't offer that same liability protection in the outside attack. And this is because in most states, a court can order you to sell your shares of the corporation to satisfy any judgment against you. So going back to the same example, let's say the car wreck victim were to sue you and you lose in court. Well, if you own an interest in a corporation, that judge could force you to sell the shares of that corporation to satisfy the car wreck victim's judgment. Now, when you use a corporation, this is not a great asset protection strategy. But there is one state that offers the charging order protection for corporate shares. And that one state is Nevada, which is why we recommend setting up Nevada corporations. So with a Nevada corporation, instead of the court forcing you to sell your shares, the victim has the right to receive any dividends if they're made. So in conclusion, both LLCs and corporations protect you against the inside attack. But LLCs in some states that have the charging order protection protect you from the outside attack much better than corporations do, unless that corporation's in Nevada. So when should you use an LLC versus a corporation? Well, generally speaking, we recommend the following. LLCs are better when you're running a small business or you're holding title to assets. On the other hand, corporations are good if you want to run a larger business, you want to raise capital from many different types of investors, you want to issue many different types of shares, and you want to have the ability to go public. This is not a hard and fast rule, and it's a lot more nuanced than you think. So if you want to get some help on whether or not to set up an LLC or a corporation, we here at Corporate Direct would be happy to help you out. You can schedule a free 15-minute consultation by clicking the link in the description below. I also have a new book called The 5 Tricks to Teach Your Kids About Money. You can download the book for free by clicking the link in the description below. If you're looking to start a business, you can schedule a free 15-minute consultation with us at Corporate Direct by also clicking the link in the description below. And as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and turn on that notification bell. And I should warn you, the contents of this video are not legal advice and no attorney-client relationship has been formed.